or this morning? I
This
guess.
morning, yes.
Yeah, at 1:53 this morning, our department responded to the report of an accident at the intersection of Dewey and Lexington. When our officers arrived, the operator of a motorcycle was seriously injured, and the other vehicle that was involved had already left the scene.
What did you all do with the motorcyclist? He was alive at the time.
The victim was treated by Butte Fire Rescue and A1 ambulance and transported to St. James Healthcare, and he was pronounced deceased shortly after he arrived at the medical facility.
Can you tell us anything about the victim as far as his age, anything?
Just the victim is a 41-year-old male.
From Butte?
Believed to be from Butte, yes.
Can you talk about kind of the injuries he sustained?
There was a number of injuries. I'm not sure what the extent or the exact location of the injuries, but ultimately the injuries were fatal.
Were there any cameras or like around the area that could have caught anything, like by bank
Well,
or
our
anything?
investigators are currently working with businesses in the area. We have information that both the motorcycle and the suspect vehicle were westbound on Dewey Boulevard just prior to the accident. The accident, actually, the initial impact was on Dewey Boulevard, just east of that intersection.
So where do we think? How do we think the driver got away?
The last information that we have was there was evidence to indicate the driver went north on Lexington from the accident scene. Montana Highway Patrol and our officers are still investigating the accident scene. We'll do a reconstruction with the assistance of the Highway Patrol, and then we'll have a much better view and overall grasp of the facts surrounding the accident.
Can you describe maybe how the person was hit? Was he hit from behind, from the rear? Do we know anything?
We don't have that information right now. We're going to work with the Highway Patrol to determine that, so I don't want to speculate on how it occurred. Our reconstructionists, as well as the Highway Patrol, will be able to get that information from evidence at the scene. There is quite a bit of evidence at the scene that we'll recover, and the investigation will continue throughout the day and even possibly into the afternoon.
He was dragged, correct, the victim?
I can't release that information right now. What I can only say the initial impact is on Dewey Boulevard, just east of Lexington, and then we'll work on the reconstruction of the accident itself.
And you believe that they were at least both were going westbound?
We have information that prior to the accident, both vehicles were traveling westbound on Dewey Boulevard. So we're going to work with businesses all the way from Harrison Avenue west to the accident scene, and then even in the area afterward to see if we can get a glimpse of either or both of the vehicles, either prior to or after the accident.
Sorry.
So it does appear that the person was struck east of the Lexington, west of the Lexington interchange?
No, I'm told the accident and the initial impact occurred east of Lexington on Dewey Boulevard.
Oh, okay. And then it went north.
Who reported the accident?
I'm not sure. We got some. I'm sure we got multiple calls, but I'm not sure who actually reported the accident.
Are you asking the public for their help?
Oh, absolutely. We want to get in touch with the driver of the vehicle and recover that vehicle as quickly as possible. In all honesty, it would probably behoove the driver of the vehicle to contact us as soon as possible so we can get their version of the incident and move on with the investigation from there. But I think it would be beneficial for the driver to contact us as quick as possible.
Do you have any description of the vehicle? Can you tell us?
The vehicle is, from what we understand, it is a black 2014 Subaru XV. We did distribute a stock photo of the vehicle, so if the public has any information, we do expect that the vehicle has some damage to the front end at least, and possibly to the windshield area and the hood. So we don't know what the extent of that damage is, but again, I think it would be best if the operator of that vehicle would contact us as quickly as possible so we can get their version of how the accident occurred.
Do you know how often you guys deal with these kind of incidents by any chance?
We don't have a whole lot of fatal hit-and-run accidents. We do have a lot of property damage hit-and-run accidents where people hit fences or other property and leave the scene. But we don't have a lot of fatal accidents like this. So this will be considered a death investigation until we can determine what exactly the circumstances were.
And your officers will be on scene scene all day trying to piece together everything?
Yeah, we'll be working with the Highway Patrol for a long time to come, probably into the afternoon as far as measurements, evidence recovery, processing the crime scene, and then we'll also be seeing the businesses in the area to see if there's any video that we can recover of the accident, either at the time of the accident or prior to or even afterward.
Do you think this motorist who may be out there and watching, do you think the motorist that suspected in the accident, it would be better for them to turn themselves in instead of wait for you guys to?
Well, we're dealing with the death investigation, so I think in my mind it would be better for the driver of that vehicle to contact us as quick as possible so we can recover the vehicle and get their version of the incident. And of course, if there is anybody that's assisting this person in hiding the vehicle or concealing any evidence, obviously it's a death investigation, so those offenses are serious offenses. So we would encourage anybody who has information rather to assist this individual to contact us immediately, because they could become entangled in an investigation where they don't want to be entangled in a death investigation. So we would encourage them to come forward.
Very serious crime here, potential.
Yeah, it's a death investigation, and so obviously the stakes are higher, and so we would certainly ask for the public's help in trying to determine what happened and come forward with any information. But again, it would behoove the driver of the vehicle to come forward and any involved persons to come forward. And certainly I would advise anybody against assisting the driver and or occupants of that vehicle in concealing the vehicle or other evidence.
It was, oh, sorry.
No, please go ahead.
I was going to say, it was 2 in the morning. Do we think maybe drugs or alcohol could have played a...
You know, it's too early to speculate on drugs or alcohol at this point. We don't have that information. Obviously, we'll be able to get that information as we progress through the investigation. But right now, it's just too early.
Was the victim able to speak at the time that officers arrived?
I do not have that information. I'm not sure whether the victim was able to describe the situation or not prior to being transported to St. James.
And is there any suggestion that they possibly knew each other before this happened?
Not at this time. We don't have any suggestion or information either way as far as whether the involved parties knew each other.
Okay.
The vehicle that you're looking for, do we know anything about who was driving, any description, or if there were anyone else in the vehicle?
No, we just have information on the vehicle itself at this point. Our investigators are conducting interviews, and obviously with the number of businesses in that area, we're hopeful that we can recover some evidence with the video to certainly either before or after the accident. We may not be able to recover anything as far as the accident itself occurring, but hopefully something before or after the accident at the very least.
Did the vehicle description come from an eyewitness?
The vehicle description, yes, the vehicle description comes from an eyewitness.
Were there more than one eyewitness?
I don't have that information right now.
Was there any pieces of the suspect vehicle found at the scene?
There were some pieces of the suspect vehicle found at the scene consistent with the information that we've already put out as far as it being a 2014 Subaru.
So that kind of helps you, just
Yes.
even little pieces like that can help you.
Yeah, absolutely. Anything that's left at the scene will be recovered for comparison to the vehicle when we actually locate it.
And have you checked with local Subaru dealers to see if anyone owns such a vehicle that they know of?
We're in the process of contacting body shops as well as Subaru dealers or anybody that we can think of. More than likely, there's more than one person who knows the identity of the driver and the location of that vehicle by this point. So we're hoping that somebody will come forward and assist us in locating the vehicle and the driver. And obviously, our hope is that the driver comes forward, because I believe it would behoove that person to come forward and give their version of the incident.
Good?
I'm good here if you are.